My little secret. The most uncomfortable episode I've ever recorded. I'll answer some of the most popular questions from the audience about acting in Regina, about production of it, and more.
I'm a strong personality. I'm just afraid airplanes and my baby. That's all.
How can I cry like that so many times? And how do you access emotions like this, intense? In a moment from the director-writer perspective. Movies don't just entertain us, they expose us. Here, we don't review films, we decode human behavior through cinema. I'm Kristina, and welcome to Crispy Talk. So, today is probably the most uncomfortable episode I've ever recorded. Every week, we analyze iconic films and explore human psychology through stories created by other people. But today, we're doing something we've never done before. Today, we're exploring psychology through Regina, a film I wrote, produced, and starred in. Last November, Regina premiered at the iconic National Gallery in Singapore, and more than 250 people joined us for this exclusive premiere, beautiful premiere. And since then, the film has been watched by over 54,000 people. It's crazy. I can't believe it. And what made me absolutely happy and satisfied most was how differently everyone interpreted the same story. And today, instead of just telling you what Regina means, I want to discover together, what is Regina really about? Is it about anger, resistance, trauma, grief, mental health, or is it actually about something much deeper? And also, I'll answer some of the most popular questions from the audience about acting in Regina, about production of it, and more. And today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Alena Bochkova. Alena is the founder and creative force behind Book Brut, an intellectual and cultural discussion club in Singapore, born from a love of literature, curiosity about people, and a desire to create a space for meaningful conversation. Welcome, Alena. Welcome to the studio. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you, Kristina, for inviting me. It was very unexpected, but I'm very happy and proud to be here. And thank you for inviting me for this really very challenging topic, because I watched your movie 3 times.
Wow.
And I did it because it's really a lot of topics sounds very familiar to me. So that's why I think that I have a lot of things to discuss.
Yes, I'm sure.
It's a pleasure.
I'm very excited also because you are founder of a wonderful club where people don't just read books. People are analyzing human psychology, human behavior through literature, through symbolism, through storytelling, through characters, which makes you the perfect guest for today's conversation.
I hope so.
Yes. And the way I begin every episode is that I briefly introduce the film. But today, I want you to do it for me because I don't want to explain my own film. I want to discuss with you and also bring up very important topics and questions that Regina raises. So for someone who's never watched the film, how would you describe Regina? What is this movie about?
I strongly believe that the most dangerous thing for any personality is self-deception. And Regina, this film for me is about this very fragile and dangerous moment when the personality stands behind the wall between self-deception and reality. And she stands behind this wall and she has to make a decision what to do to continue living in this self-deception without any chance to improving anything around yourself, or to break this wall and to live further without knowing what is after this wall.
Yeah.
And this
What's
film
behind
is
the wall
about this
illusion.
very, very difficult decision.
Wonderful. I like this explanation. Before we begin diving into the story, please allow me to answer the question I've probably been asked more than any other since Regina premiered. The question is whether Regina is my autobiographical story and if I am Regina. So the short answer is no. Regina is not me. Regina is not autobiographical. I wrote it, I produced it, I starred in it, but no, Regina isn't me. But there is also a longer answer to this question. The story of Regina was born from a very personal period of transformation after I became a mother. And I think for many women, having your first child is one of the most life-changing experiences you will ever go through, really. Yes, you carry a baby for 9 months, but in many ways, you only truly become a mother on the day your child is born, right? And nobody tells you what to do. Nobody tells you how to prepare yourself, and no one gives you that manual. And that transformation happens almost overnight. And, obviously, sleepless nights, hormonal changes, the overwhelming responsibility and emotional intensity you've never experienced before. So for me, it eventually led to postpartum depression. And although I didn't realize that what it was only after several years later, and I remember a moment when I genuinely regretted becoming a mother. And it terrified me. I called my mom and I told her, Mom, I don't think that this motherhood is for me. I think I made a mistake. And to be absolutely clear, I never wanted to harm my child or myself. What I was experiencing wasn't a lack of love. I love my child. It was more of a profound sense of grief. I was grieving the life I had lost. I was grieving the version of myself that no longer existed. And I was completely alone with those feelings. I couldn't tell anyone. I honestly thought I was going crazy because I was supposed to be happy and everyone expected me to be happy, but I wasn't. And instead of accepting this new version of myself, I was in that cloud of illusion, right? This is what you were talking about. And I desperately tried to hold on to the old version of me. So I threw myself into work. I was going out a lot with my friends. And I kept trying to prove that nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. But eventually, I just burned out. And looking back, I realized I wasn't rejecting motherhood. I was resisting the transformation. And I was resisting a part of me that was born at the same time my child was born. And I couldn't integrate these two versions of me. The woman I had been, this free, carefree, child-free, and the mother I had become. And that inner conflict created enormous suffering. And that was the beginning of losing myself and eventually finding myself again. And it's amazing for me that I was lucky enough to have writing, because writing became my way through it. It gave shape to emotions I couldn't explain. And I wasn't actually trying to write a screenplay, right? At first, it was just journaling, simply writing down some thoughts, fragments, memories, feelings that completely confused me. And yeah, that's how Regina was born. Mm-hmm. So while the story itself isn't autobiographical, its emotional foundation absolutely is. It's rooted, I believe, in the universal human experience of losing contact with who we are, of pushing away and suppressing versions of ourselves and suffering from it, obviously, and then eventually, hopefully, finding the way out. And judging by the conversations I've had since the premiere, it's a feeling many people recognize in themselves after watching the film. That's why, for me, storytelling, whether it's through film or theater, has always been a very powerful tool to explore those questions and experiences, and the ability to share them with the world and connect with others on a much deeper level through storytelling. This is very priceless to me. And I think that sometimes, actually, I don't know what you think. I actually want to know your opinion about it. But I think that sometimes fiction actually allows us to tell deeper truths about humans more honestly than autobiography ever could. What do you think, Alena?
Oh, I completely agree with you. When we try to show the real personality, we usually focus on our attempts of being objective. And usually we just try to create true picture. But there is not enough space of going deep down and to explore. There is not enough space to exploration. But when we speak about fiction, when we speak about not real person, so we create a lot of space for any kind of research. And any psychological situation, we can turn on, off from different sides. So we can't allow ourselves to do it with a real person.
Yes, I agree with you. You kind of, as a writer, you take a step back. And then you can, obviously you will write something that you know about, that can resonate with you. But when you write about yourself, that is, whoa. Or about with someone, or about celebrity, or about, and it's not fiction, it's almost like you become one. And then, like you said, there is no space to breathe. There is no space for you to step back and see the bigger picture. Or you're too careful. You're too afraid.
You must be careful, yes.
Alena, you have a son.
Yeah.
Right? How old is he?
3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
So when I was talking about my experience of postpartum depression, now I don't know your story, whether you had it or not, postpartum depression, but would you be comfortable to share your story of becoming a mother? How was it for you? How was that transformation? How it changed you? What kind of struggles you faced? And what helped you to overcome those struggles?
I didn't have a depression as some serious diagnosis, but it was. But I had some really serious challenges, and first of all is that I had to say bye-bye to my beloved version of myself, because I gave birth quite late. I was 41. Until that moment, of course, I had a lot of patterns of my life, how I had to look like, what my life should be, and so on. And of course, in my head, I thought that my life would change, but it's just in my head.
Yeah, you never know how,
you
right?
You never know how, and you can't prepare your mindset, your personality for this. It's impossible. And that was the first challenge, that that now I'm a slave of my baby.
Oh,
He is this small creature, is a boss, and I am his slave.
Yeah, he's controlling me.
Yes,
and my life is like all around him. Yeah,
and I can't do anything about this.
I felt that way too.
The second thing,
and when it's gonna end, right? When?
Never.
When?
And the answer is terrible. Never. So maybe someday, but
but not now, right?
Not now.
You don't feel free yet.
Yeah. And the second thing which terrifying me is that now the fear is inevitable part of your life.
Yeah.
So 6 years ago, I lost my mother, and before I lost her, I knew that when this moment would come, it would be the worst moment in my life. But when it has happened, I felt some kind of release. Nothing can make me struggle again so
Yeah.
much. But when baby came in my life,
You change your mind.
absolutely. And I understood that now I have to live with this fear every day. So, of course, I don't experience it like, oh, I'm scared, where is my baby, and so on. But you always feel you can't be relaxed completely.
And can you tell that you accepted that part of you that is terrified? Or not yet?
I can deal with it now, but first year was quite difficult. And another thing was this strong love that I felt maybe on the second or the third day when I gave birth, when all these hormones came.
Yes.
And this feeling was so strong. It terrified me so much. I never felt anything to a man in my life, And at that moment, I remember my thoughts, how I can live with this feeling. It's so strong that it's better, I don't know, to kill this baby or to escape from this situation because I can't deal with it.
Yeah,
It's
and
too
that's
hard.
where the fear comes from.
Yeah,
like
together with fear.
how can I even lose this little creature if I love? Like I will die, right?
Yes,
if something
yes.
happens to the baby, I can totally resonate with that.
Yeah. And of course, tiredness. I'm like a woman. I have a lot of support, but this tiredness is not about physical tiredness. Yes, it's I'm tired of all this love, of all this fear, and so on. And sometimes it turns on to, complete indifference to this kid. When you look at him and you are absolutely cold, and you tell your husband, please, I don't want to be a mother. I don't want a child. Just stop it. I'm a bad mom. Think everything you want about me, but I can't deal with it anymore. I'm too weak for this. And sometimes it happens, and then you feel guilty.
I think guilt is born with a child.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like
true,
it's inevitable,
true.
like a imaginary friend next to you.
Yeah.
But this is what it is. So we lose something, we gain something.
Yeah, true.
Do you want to have more children?
I think yes, but it depends. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. So now let's talk about the forest and what it represents in the movie. Carl Jung once wrote that the unconscious never speaks directly to us and never with words. It speaks through symbols, dreams, images, sensations. And throughout the film, Regina keeps returning to this mysterious place. There's a few symbolical images in the film, and one of them is the forest, right? So, Alena, you spent a lot of time analyzing literature through symbolism. So, when you first watched those scenes in the forest, what did you think the forest actually represented?
I think it's something subconscious part of Regina, and it's her safe haven. Yeah, I think for her it's a kind of her safe haven.
Okay, where she feels safe, you think?
I think yes, but if we speak about forest only, it's her attempt to escape from herself, from her anger, and from all her drama that surrounds her.
Okay. And if to believe that it's not a physical place, it's her subconscious, unconscious, happy place, as you think, where do we find her in each scene? Because every scene is a bit different. The first time we see her in the forest, she's sort of meditating there. The second time, she's wearing a mask. I have a question about the mask as well too. And third time is when she's bleeding there. So why, if it's a happy place, if you think that it's a happy place or safe place, why the image changes as we go on with the film?
A little bit tough question for me.
Actually, to say I don't know, it's actually an answer as well. I'll take that.
I want to think about this. Maybe this is place where she can show her weakness and vulnerability. Maybe something like this. And it's okay to bleeding there, because now there at this place she is accepted with all her, I don't know, with all her weakness. Yes,
Yeah.
maybe something like this.
Okay. So it's a place where she can be vulnerable.
Yes.
And okay. And the mask? Because many people ask me, like, what was the mask about? Remember that moment when she...
Yeah. No, being honest, I didn't understand this moment. No, I didn't understand.
Okay.
I tried to explain it to myself, but...
Actually, so I will reply... I will talk about my version of what forest represents to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the mask, actually, was my gut feeling. It was a very intuitive moment for me that mask just had to be there. And that mask was bought in Bali during my acting training. And I'm going for the same acting training tomorrow to Bali. I'm traveling. It's a very spiritually filled with, Bali spirit, with the mask. It's not just any mask. And that mask is a baby mask.
Oh.
And she sings happy birthday in that baby mask. So for me, when we were shooting, I was like, okay, I got to use that mask. I don't know why, but it has to be in that scene. So it was very personal for me.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't understand it. If I could, I can change the
Maybe it was like an inner moment from the director-writer perspective, my little secret. So for me, the forest was about everything Regina refused to feel, like you said. Regina is emotionally frozen. She's emotionally frozen in time. She refused to feel, and she's disconnected from her body, really. Her emotions, her feelings, even her physical pain and distress. Her only concern is getting back to work, getting that certificate, staying busy, and worrying about her distant husband. So her attention always goes outward, never inward. And she's completely disconnected from herself. And throughout the film, she keeps repeating, remember, I'm fine, everything is fine, I'm fine. When it's painfully obvious that she isn't, and even her body begins sending her, clear signals that something is deeply wrong. So she wants the forest to be her peaceful, happy place. And she tries to meditate in it. She tries to escape and find this peace and quiet, but she can't. She can't. Because her emotional pain has reached the point where she cannot hide from it anymore. That's why forest became that, if comparing with Regina, if Regina is frozen, forest is alive. Yeah. And the emotions, right? The thing about emotional pain, it never disappears when we ignore it. It stays in the body. It sits on our muscles, on our organs, and in our nervous system. It shows up eventually as tension, anxiety, insomnia, chronic diseases, weight gain or weight changes, and many other ways our body tries to get our attention. So the longer we suppress our emotions, the stronger they become, until one day they just can't be contained anymore and they, explode. It doesn't matter actually how long we suppress or how well, eventually they demand to be heard. But it's important to understand that they don't actually come to punish us. Right? This emotion, this pain, the emotional pain. They come to tell us something. Like, look at me. I'm here. I'm trying to tell you something, right? And until we're willing to listen, they will keep finding new ways to get our attention. That's why the forest is such an important contrast to Regina herself. While Regina is emotionally numb, the forest is alive. It breathes, it changes, it hides things, and then it reveals things. Just like the human psyche, right? So for me, the forest represents Regina's unconscious. It contains both beauty. In the beginning, it feels like peace, but eventually it becomes dangerous even. That's why blood, that's why screaming, shouting, and all that, you know. So it's the place where transformation becomes possible. But it's also the place where she's forced to meet everything she spent her, entire life trying to avoid. And speaking about avoidance, do you think that avoiding pain can be actually more destructive, more dangerous, and more painful than the pain itself?
Pain is not destructive. Pain is painful. And that's all. Even we speak about not only physical pain, but psychological also. But avoiding of pain is a self-deception also. Yes. And I think it's the most destructive thing. So that's why pain is not destructive. I'm sure of it. You can live with it for ages. Yes, it could be a part of your personality. But if you are honest with yourself, but if not, so here is a point when all our problems start.
Yeah.
And I think that what has happened to Regina.
I agree with you. And the pain, emotional pain, right? What's most terrifying to me personally is that it can turn into physical, material things like illnesses, like sickness, like cancer, all these horrible things. And yes, it's scary to go there, right? And we'll talk about it, but the cost that you pay for not going there, right? And how many people live like that? I mean, Regina represents those kind of people. We'll talk about it as well. So, okay, the forest is unconscious, is her unconscious mind. So then what is anger?
You mean this lady?
Yes, this lady.
It's... for Regina, I think it's first, this anger is a guard of this wall between Regina's emotional pain and the self-deception and reality. It's a guard of this wall.
Okay.
It protects Regina from
all of that.
From all of that, from starting her recovery. And at that moment, when at the beginning of the film, it's one of her best bad friends. You know, we have this bad friends with toxic friends, but it's a friend.
Yeah.
And that's true. The anger supports her.
Yeah.
The anger convinces her that everything is okay. So yes, I can say that it's your friend.
Because when people...
Family member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, they've been together for so many years, right?
Yes.
So it's like... why I'm asking is because many people who first watch Regina, they think that anger is just that, the anger, right? It's a movie about aggression, and the actress who plays anger, it's just her aggression. But anger, for me, it's a mixture of all the suppressed parts that Regina suppressed, versions of her. It's her aggression, yes, or even suppressed aggression, right? It's her fears, it's her desires, it's her sexuality, it's her funny, spontaneous self, because Regina is a control freak. She's just like very, very tense. And anger, she's very light, she dances, she loves. It's her sense of freedom. And also, the way I see it, even now after a few years of making the movie, I'm watching it from a different perspective. It's her unconditional love for herself. Because we often assume that her anger is trying to actually to destroy her, right? Or to even stop her. But what it's actually doing is trying though Regina doesn't see it that way, she's trying to bring her back to herself. Because it keeps asking her uncomfortable questions. Where the hell is your husband?
True.
Where is your husband? And by the way, what do you want? You know, what do we want right now? Let's live life now because life is happening now, right? Or what happened with our mother? Mm-hmm. You promised me that we're never going to be like our mother, right? So it's very subtle, but she's asking all these uncomfortable questions. And Regina constantly pushes it away. So she doesn't want to remember or reflect. She doesn't want to revisit those painful memories. And she stays frozen. So to me, that's one of the actually central ideas of the film, that anger isn't the villain. She's trying to reconnect Regina with the parts of herself she is abandoned. And the more Regina, because this is the thing, that the more Regina rejects, the more destructive anger gets. Not even destructive, the louder she gets. So let's talk about the therapy. Because the therapy session in the film was not by her choice, right? It was forced on her. Her employer has mandated it so she can obtain a certificate saying that she is okay, that she's fit to work and return to work. And from the very beginning, we see that Regina rejects both the psychologist, her method. She's making fun of her, and she thinks that it's complete waste of time. And I believe that's a mindset many people secretly or openly actually have. And I have many friends who say that, I'm doing fine, Kristina. I don't want to open this can of worms because once I do, I don't know what I'm going to find inside. And I totally understand that. It's scary. Because when you open that can of worms, you never know how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect your relationships, and how it even is going to affect how you see yourself, right? So I can relate to this. I can understand this. But at the same time, there is a cost, like we said, right? Before we even move into Regina, I want to ask you about therapy. Have you ever been to therapy, and what role it played in your life? How do you see therapy?
I had this experience. Mm-hmm. During 2 years. I was 36 when I started, and I consider it bad experience.
Okay.
But
what was bad about it?
Bad was the choice of a doctor. Mm-hmm. It was a real professional. It wasn't like ex-stylist who decided to change to become a psychologist because it's trendy and so on. No, it was serious doctor, and I was disappointed. Mm-hmm. First year I was very excited about this, but first year I was a person who was talking. The second year she was a person who was talking. And it ended with the zero results for me.
Wow, for 2 years?
For 2 years. Yeah, but once a week. We met once a week, once in 2 weeks.
It's a long time. Once a week, once 2 weeks for 2 years.
Yes.
And zero results.
How to say? At the beginning, I felt that there are some results because I wanted to be very honest with her, but I have to say that I firmly believed in therapy. I think it's one of the most useful tools for improving ourselves, and it's serious work. But everything depends from the doctor, and on the other side, it depends from a person. Are you ready to be honest or not?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's only about this, because we know a lot of cases of people who visited therapists for many years, 3 times a week, and they're still with one and the same patterns. She was crazy and she's still crazy. Mm-hmm. Nothing helps. And you ask, why?
And those people, I know people who were crazy, went to therapy, stayed crazy, and became therapists themselves.
Yes, it's something.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. But in my case, the thing was that my request, I just moved to Moscow. I started my life from the very beginning. I was very successful in my career, but I had this imposter
syndrome, yes.
syndrome, and I was full of guilty about my previous life relationships with my father, with my mother, and blah blah blah. And I felt that all this is behind my back and it's too heavy. And I came to her to help me with this. And I came to her to help me to become more strong. And my request, I didn't think about family at that time. I had relationships with my future husband. It was very nice, but I didn't think about baby and so on. And she was asking. I was answering. And then what I didn't like, she started, she started telling me, all your career ambitions, it's bullshit.
You have to
all
focus
what
on...
you need baby.
Oh.
So it's true. At every time when I try to discuss with her my social life, my career, so she didn't even try to make these two things live together. So you are listening to me for 1 year. You must understand that my social realization is extremely important for me. I can't just throw it away to the garbage. So if you want me to explain to me that family is important too, try to combine these things for me. Yes?
Yeah.
But no. All her recommendations was, all these business women, they are so poor, they live such a miserable life, forget about this. So in one moment, I felt like I talk with the auntie next door, you know? Your hours are almost done and so on. So forget about your career. And it was such a like, what are you talking about? You are with me 1 year. Yeah, you didn't understand me.
I can't even believe that she even gave you her opinion on this, because usually, from my experience, therapists are not even allowed to give any advices like what you should do, like, drop your career and have a baby, right? They sort of need to guide you, ask correct questions.
Yes.
It's like a guide, right? So that you can come to conclusion yourself, right? But I agree with you. It's so you have to be very choosy with your therapist. You have to be open enough as well, like you said. And many people sometimes are not open to this. And like I said, it can be because of the fear that I don't know what's going to happen. I am. Everyone has problems. I'm not perfect. I'm fine, but I'm not eager to go further and deeper and dive in, because I don't know who I'm going to become, how it's going to reflect and impact my relationships. And it's okay. It's understandable. But some people choose to go for therapy and stay the same. Some people choose to go and transform. But those people who just deny it, like, do you have friends like this who deny it? I have a couple.
Yes.
Don't you think that these people who criticize self-growth therapy, they are the people who most need it? Because we live in a time and age where it's so out there. Right? Everybody is in some sort of therapy, retreats, breath work, body work, right? But there's still some people who are just, no to that. I'm just wondering how they gonna transit to the world that is changing, right? I'm curious to know your opinion about this kind of people who completely deny it and just normal way of living, just be logical, just do what I do and I'll be fine.
I think you're right. It's people who really need it, because for me, these people look like the medicine invented antibiotics, and you are still trying to recover by meditation, for example. So for me, these people are the same, because if you want to live full life, in our modern world, you will definitely face with psychological problems, crises, and so on. Because we all say one and the same thing. We do not have enough hours in a day to do everything what we want. To be a good mother, to be a good lover, to be a good professional, and so on. And one day we all met with this crisis. And then the therapist is like this antibiotic, something that works. Can work and not, but you have to try. And if you say, no, it's not for me, for you, I'm like, it's a little bit old school, yes?
I have only a few examples of people who, in my view, very, very deep, very in contact with themselves. Two people only, who don't go into therapy, like classical, traditional therapy, but they do believe in God. They're not religious. They're not, they don't go to church every Sunday, they're not. But they have this deep, deep belief that they are connected to something, bigger than them. And they say that they pray. They're not baptized into one religion. They're not Christians, they're not Muslim, they're just truly in contact with the world. This is how I understood it from them. And they said, no, I don't need a therapy. This is my therapy.
But don't you think they just put the responsibility for something bigger than they are? Thinking this way and acting this way. So there is something bigger than me. So they know better. I think it's a little bit childish.
I don't know. But it helps them, they say. So moving back to the movie, there is one character who remains mysterious throughout the film and never says a word. It's her father. And what's interesting is that even anger, though she's asking her these uncomfortable questions, she never wants to talk about the father. Why do you think so? If she's so brave, if she's so out there, wanting to talk about the husband, why not father?
Maybe because the father figure, it's somehow it's a cornerstone of your personality. Maybe she intuitively understands that if she touch it, all her identity collapses. It's not about father as a real figure. Maybe this father was not so bad. But she created this figure in her mind. And she didn't want even to deal with this why and for what she created this.
It seems like anger did not want to touch that can of worms, right?
Yes.
Connected to the father. It's so interesting. There is a moment when Regina is sitting in front of her therapist and she needs to read out loud the letter to her father over Zoom, where she has to pour her heart out, tell him how he messed up with her life, basically be honest to herself and the father. And she couldn't read the letter. She couldn't read the letter. It was a breaking down point for her. How did you feel about that moment? And do you think an emotional breakdown can be the first sign of recovery, let's say?
Oh, I remember that in the cinema, when it was during the premiere, I really felt some tears because I had very similar moment because me and my sister, we had very difficult relationships with our father, but it's a long story. And I remember when I was 22, I tried to speak to him. It was my form of letter, of reading the letter. I tried to explain to him, so let me explain to you my pain. And first time he answered, okay, I'm ready to listen. And had been preparing for this conversation for many months in my head. And at that moment, the same thing as happened to Regina happened to me. I couldn't even open my mouth. I started crying, and my body rejected completely this conversation. And I understood her so deeply. And I still tried to explain to myself what it was about, because he died soon and there was no another opportunity for another conversation, another chance. My explanation for myself, because I'm a strong personality, I don't afraid, I'm just afraid airplanes. And that's all. And my baby, that's all.
And your baby on the plane.
I have phobia and very strong fear with my baby and aerophobia. And the explanation was that something inside me was not completely sure that I could be accepted by him in my vulnerability. That he didn't understand me after all my openness. And I think maybe Regina felt something like this, and that's why her body said strong no.
Yeah, interesting. So the stronger you are as a person, as a woman, right, the more fearful you are that the first man in your life, which is your father, would not accept you in that vulnerability. And that's the fear of vulnerability throughout life, right, of being vulnerable. I can relate to that a lot. But then do you think that actually going there into that childhood trauma, into that honest conversation with your parents is the important step, or you can just bypass it and find your peace and recovery in other ways?
So,
or you have to go to the childhood, because obviously we're all from our childhood. And
in my case, I didn't know exactly, because I repeat, I didn't have this chance to try. But I have a lot of examples of people around me who has elder parents, and they have a lot of conflicts in the childhood, and later, when their parents reach certain age, when they turn back and when they start asking themselves the question, what was wrong in my life, and so on. And at that moment, these parents are ready and they are open to accept their child. And usually, I think that child should be much elder than 20. It's after 35, closer to 40. And parents are around 60 plus. And at that moment, these two lines can intercept. And I saw this very great results when they finally meet each other. So that's why I think we have to try. If we have this chance and our parents are still alive, we have to.
Exactly, especially when our parents are still alive, we should not lose this opportunity, right, to open. And it's not about blaming them or, oh, you destroyed my life, go through the list how you destroyed my life.
Point by
it's
point.
Not about that. And that's why I think that after 30, after 40, right, it's a good age. Maybe, it depends on the person, right? But when you are not that, what's the revolutionarist, right? It's not about revolution. It's not about fighting. It's just about accepting and coming to your parent. As a child, you come to a parent, because parents, as it's very cliche, but it's true, and we both know because we are parents. We give everything that we can to our kids, and our parents gave everything that they could, and they didn't have everything that we have now.
Absolutely.
Therapy, movies and literature about it. So I'd like us to watch something now. a very disturbing scene.
Okay.
Talking about childhood trauma, right? So we will watch the scene where Regina threatens the child, and we will watch it and then we'll talk about it. Okay.
Piece of shit! If I ever see you again next to Kevin, I will find you in your bedroom at night. I know where you live, and I will cut off your fucking ears. You understand? And then I'll find your parents in your bedroom, and I'll stab them to death for raising such a fucking shithead. Do you understand me? Do you understand? If I ever see you again next to Kevin, I'll fucking destroy you! Fucking destroy you! Destroy you! Kevin! Come here! Punch him in the face. I can make a fist like this and punch him in the face. Hit him! That's good. That's fucking good, you fucking pussy. If I ever see you again next to him, this goes viral. You understand? Now get the fuck out of here! It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, now forget that I'm sitting next to you, that I wrote it, that I, starred in it. How did it make you feel watching this?
I will be honest. Inside myself, I experienced something like this.
Mm-hmm. As a Regina or as a child?
As a grown-up Elena, as a Regina.
Okay.
And as a mother towards to my baby, but inside of me.
Right.
In my imagination. So I really have this strong emotions sometimes.
Yeah.
I do not express it. Maybe to my husband sometimes.
What do you think was happening with Regina?
She doesn't see the child at this moment. She just found very comfortable way of expressing her aggression and anger. She justifies it to herself that she fight for the truth.
To protect, yeah.
And that she protects someone who is more weak. But in reality, she's just like a drug addicted person who find this drug,
Yeah.
the way to express,
To let it out. Yeah.
so comfortable emotion for her, because anger and aggression is the most familiar and most comfortable emotion for her, where in reality she feels very, very comfortable with, you know.
I agree with you. Anger is the most recognized emotion, but I was told that anger is just the tip of the iceberg, and the reason for anger is everything that is below. And there's so many other reasons that in the moment we can't recognize. Is it sadness? Is it grief? Is it fear, right? That triggered anger. But anger is such a recognized and most familiar emotion, because many of us suppress it, familiar with it, basically. So I'm going to address the second most popular question from the audience. How did I manage to perform such big emotions? So I'm going to talk a bit about this scene and another emotional scene from the acting perspective. So this scene with the child was probably the most fun to shoot, actually, because it was the first time, the first moment in the film where Regina actually finally allows herself to express the rage, like fully. And she even feels good at the end, right? And relieved. And as a writer, I knew that the scene would kind of divide the audience. Some would judge her, some would feel maybe compassion or understanding how it feels. Some will find it really difficult to watch. And that was the intention, because I wasn't trying to make Regina likable or perfect. I was trying to make her human. And pain isn't beautiful. Sometimes it's really ugly and disturbing. And sometimes it makes us deeply uncomfortable and vulnerable. And as an actress also, I knew that if I was going to do the scene, I have to go full on rage. But I also had a responsibility to take care of my fellow actors, children, so that they're not afraid for real. And I explained to them that it's just acting and exactly what I was going to do, so they wouldn't be frightened. And yeah, it was fine. They were incredibly brave and professional, and I think they both did an amazing job, actually, in that scene. We didn't even do many takes on that scene. And another emotionally demanding scene was the one where Regina finally enters the room with the boxes, where she unpacks the clothes of unborn baby. And for the first time, you know, all the grief, now it's the time for the grief to come out. And she completely falls apart. And we shot that scene maybe in 7 or 8 takes. And one of the questions I got is, how can I cry like that so many times? And how do you access emotions like this, intense? And many people assume that you as an actor, you have to tap into your memories, your traumatic memories, and recreate them. Some actors, they choose this path, but actually I didn't work that way at all for this movie. I spent several months preparing for Regina with my acting coach and mentor, Dr. Budi Miller. We work with a methodology called PEM, P-E-M. And what fascinated me about PEM is that it bypasses psychology almost entirely. So instead of searching for your past memories, you directly work through the body. And the method is based on the idea that our fundamental emotions have physical expressions in the body and are connected to specific organs even. So in this scene with children, with kids, I had to express anger, and I had to connect to liver, because liver is the organ that connected to anger, and I had to move it forward. And in the scene with the boxes, it was grief, so I was connected to my intestines. It was a very interesting way of working with this new technique. And yeah, and the beautiful part of it was that I could switch on and switch off. So I didn't carry the weight of the emotional, painful memory of my own, right? So I could just switch off and just, you know, go on with my day. It didn't affect my nervous system. It didn't affect the crew, my family, and etc. So this is how I work even with people. So sometimes the shortest way is not through your mind, but through your body, right? To bypass that psychology. And recently I found out that you also learned acting. You studied acting.
It was.
So I'm curious how you were taught how to access emotions. How was your experience?
Oh, it was 25 years ago. Yes, I have my degree in acting. But
why are you hiding this from us?
Because while my studies, I understood that it's totally not about me. That I don't.
But you completed it.
I completed it.
Like 4 or 5 years?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years
Wow.
in St. Petersburg. But at that time, all we needed is just a diploma of with degree.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you want to do at that time.
Yeah.
So you can be a lawyer with this or something like. It was the only requirement. So that's why I decided to finish it and to get this diploma. But I was quite a good student.
And how did they teach you how to access emotions? Through your own memories?
No. Absolutely, as you told before. And that's what you reminded me with your course.
Okay.
With your special course, that body first and then all the others. That it's not absolutely about try to finding some pain inside you to evoke it No, it's as our teachers told us, it's to go to the doctors with this problem. But in acting, it all starts with body. And we did a lot of exercises. So you told that tears connected with kidney, but in our case, it was connected with something here. I don't remember the exercise itself. Yes, it's like so you have to breathe somehow, and then work with your muscles, and then some tears can appear on your face.
Amazing! I did not learn that in
Yes,
Russia.
there was a lot of techniques, and one of my favorite was how to show the energy. So they told us you have to jump, you have to sit down and then jump very high, and with this impulse go on the stage. And it works. When you feel that your energy is frozen, or my energy is frozen, I still jump in the toilet.
Amazing. That's an amazing tool. Body and energy, absolutely. I love working with it. Like, you don't need to go back to, remembering the dead grandmother and then cry.
Absolutely.
We need to talk about the ending. Okay. One of the questions I've been asked most, it's what does the ending actually mean, right? And it's fair to say that Regina has an open ending, right? So instead of me answering this question, please let me know how you interpreted the ending. We're talking about the ending when she enters the room and hugs Anger.
You mean this one? So it's not a recovery. She got a great chance. It is just the beginning of her way.
Yeah. So it's not that she's healed and that's it.
Absolutely.
It's just the beginning of it.
It's just the beginning, and it's just the chance to start. But the most interesting things, I think, will be in the next part of Regina.
Maybe.
Because it's a huge responsibility. What to do with your new healed personality, what kind of decisions you have to make, how you build your relationships, and so on. So this moment was just that she finally accepted this part of her, that it's not her enemy.
Yes, that was the most, for me, it was the key moment when when Regina says that I recognize that you were protecting me. We built this wall, right? You built this wall for us, but we don't need this anymore. And it was such a profound, very beautiful moment when she stops seeing her as an enemy, and she just accepts and thanks her, actually, for protecting her, because anger appeared when she was little. Right, she protected her inner child. And what about that moment after the credits? Right, have you seen that moment when Dad is calling? Yes. What do you think Dad would tell her if she picked up the phone?
I thought about this, and I don't believe in miracles.
Okay.
I don't believe that he called her to apologize and that he is ready to change something in their relationships. No. But it was a chance also for both of them.
Yeah.
And at that moment, everything depends on her, because she is a person who needs this recovery.
And did the open ending kind of
open with Papa open?
Did you enjoy do you enjoy open endings, or you need that, or you one of those people who need like clear ending? Okay.
No. I'm about open endings because for me it's an opportunity to create something.
It's a food for thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a good end. It's a good.
Thank you.
Mostly, it's.
I love open endings.
It's a happy end.
I love open endings because that creates audience's interpretation that makes you think. Right? It's thought provoking. And Regina isn't a movie about anger. To me, it's about actually avoidance in the price that we pay for refusing to meet ourselves, all ourselves. Right, all parts of ourselves, and how mindlessly we waste our energy, guys, and our lives pursuing the illusion that we can become this one perfect version, and become this perfect version that people will applaud, that people will admire and love. So the biggest question Regina leaves us with, it's what part of ourselves are we still refusing to meet? And because remember, the parts we avoid never disappear, they simply wait until one day they begin living our lives for us. Alena, thank you very much for this conversation today. Any very quick last words of wisdom for our audience today?
So anger is a normal emotion. That was I thinking during watching the film. It's normal response to stupidity, to something unfair in our life. It's completely normal. But at the moment when you understand that it takes too many space in your life, don't build this wall between reality and your problems. So be honest with yourself.
Exactly. Instead of living in that deception, that illusion, just connect to who you really are, right? And be honest about it. And be brave and unapologetic about it, right? Thank you all for being here today. I'd like to leave you with one final question. How did you interpret the ending? What was it about for you? Leave your comments below and I'll read every single one of them. If you know someone who's been running away from a part of themselves, share this conversation with them. I'll see you in the next episode.